Have you been the victim of a digital scam, deceived by an imposter, and sent your assets to the wrong wallet?
Man lost more than $1 million in cryptocurrency after falling for a scam.
It was $1,038,000. It is a lot of money.
In a moment, everything changed. The confusion, the disbelief.
This is Brandon LaRoe, a retired man who just lost $3 million of XRP, his entire retirement, all because of one simple mistake.
This morning I woke up and all my XRP's been stolen, been hacked.
The Mel Carmine podcast, in collaboration with Digital Asset Sisters, is addressing the reality of online deception head-on, exposing fraudulent tactics, educating the public, and providing a path forward.
We just saw a need for people to understand how to get in safely, like Mel is saying, have a proven method of success that you can follow and duplicate, because there needed to be a step-by-step process out there, but there's not a step-by-step process out there.
This is more than a discussion. It's a professional response to a growing digital crisis.
You don't need to be a crypto geek like us and Mel. You can work your way towards it, but you can also gain the benefits without having to do all the work and be as entrenched as we are. And so we just really create a simple method for people to learn about crypto. And if you already know about crypto, then come in and start getting invested safely, securely, all those steps, and then all the way to the end of having a long-term and a short-term game plan.
If you've been misled, misdirected, or financially harmed, this may be your turning point, from setback to strategy, from loss to leadership.
If you just invest in one specific cryptocurrency with no game plan, no structure around it, you're actually very vulnerable. So we help put that structure around it. We make sure you have everything set in place for long term. We don't want to leave you hanging. So we have an awesome mastermind in the back end. Once everything is complete, you're all set up, you feel great, you can sleep like a baby at night, and you want to just learn more and get more benefits from being in the digital asset space. We touch on mindset. If you don't have the mindset, you won't be able to withstand the volatility.
This is a service that's definitely very much needed. And so therefore, I'm glad that you guys are doing it. You're specializing specifically in one area, which is going to help a lot of people. Is there a website that they can go to get more information? The Mel Carmine Show begins in just 1 minute. Support the movement. Visit QFS1776.com for exclusive one-of-a-kind merch that makes a powerful statement. Protect your wealth. Cash is trash. Go to carminesgold.com and secure real assets, silver, gold, delivered anywhere in the U.S. Text Mel at 786-704-8817. Looking to acquire XRP? Minimum is $10,000 investment, and there is no limit, even up to $100 million worth. Again, text Mel with full details at 786-704-8817 and allow up to 24 hours for a response. And if by chance you're visiting Cape Canaveral or you are a local, visit stayingalive.com, alive with 2 E's, and recharge your body at the cellular level. The show with your host, Mel Carmine, starts right now. Well, guys, we got the Kaneland sisters, or the K sisters. They're into the digital assets. And you know what? For years, we've been doing this, my wife and I, and everybody comes to us and we're good people and we don't charge people because we don't really want to, be a burden. A lot of people that come to us really don't have a lot of money anyway. But the reality is, this is a service. And I keep telling my wife, hey, you should charge for your services. And then all of a sudden, voila, here they are. All right. Yes, they charge for their services and everybody wants to know how to buy digital assets. However, I could tell you that we have no more time. So when you call us and say, hey, we need some help, we're going to redirect you to the K sisters, the digital asset sisters, and they're going to help you with your dilemma of buying, where to store it, which wallet to use, why to use that wallet versus another wallet. Everything you need to know from A to Z, plus they have an ongoing service so that you make sure that you don't get ripped off and you're walking down the path of security. Ladies, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your digital asset channel that you just started on YouTube. We would love to send you all the business. We really would.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mel. It's a pleasure being on here with you. You can go ahead and kind of do a little intro for us. Yeah, thank you, Mel. Well, we are the Digital Asset Sisters, and we've met Mel quite a few times now. He's an amazing man. So we're just excited to be on here. And why he says we're the K sisters as well is because it gets pretty confusing. I'm Kaylin and this is Kinley. So we're the K sisters, we're the digital asset sisters. Most people know us as the digital asset sisters. And really where we got started on our own journey, we've been investing for over 7 years in digital assets and very specific cryptocurrencies and whatnot. And what we realized is that on YouTube, there's a lot of individuals speaking about the news, speaking about current times, speaking about what to do,
and what to invest
and what to invest in. But there's not a step-by-step process out there. And as we were helping just individuals, our family, our friends, we were going through this ourselves. We realized that there needed to be a step-by-step process out there. So that's really how Digital Asset Sisters was born. We just saw a need for people to understand how to get in safely, like Mel is saying, have a proven method of success that you can follow and duplicate, because you don't need to be a crypto geek like us and Mel. You can work your way towards it, but you can also gain the benefits without having to do all the work and be as entrenched as we are. And so we just really create a simple method for people to learn about crypto. And if you already know about crypto, then come in and start getting invested safely, securely, all those steps, and then all the way to the end of having a long-term and a short-term game plan, because that's very, very important. A lot of people maybe have just been invested, and if you just invest in one specific cryptocurrency with no game plan, no structure around it, you're actually very vulnerable. So we help put that structure around it. So you're not like those people who bought Bitcoin back in 2014 and lost it all today. So we make sure you have everything set in place for long term. And then like Mel said, we don't want to leave you hanging. So we have an awesome mastermind in the back end. Once everything is complete, you're all set up, you feel great, you can sleep like a baby at night, and you want to just learn more and get more benefits from being in the digital asset space.
Well, great. Listen, I'm getting an echo. Can you just mute yourself for a little bit? All right. Maybe it will fix itself. But anyway, we were like literally doing it, helping people that really didn't have a lot of money, et cetera. And except I was arguing with my wife, you got to charge something for it. You can't give it away for free. So I was really ready to put together my friend Bradley, my friend Scott, a couple of guys that was going to do what you do, but because they're so unreliable, guys, you're unreliable. I'm telling you this on the air. Okay. It never got off the ground because I said, this is a service that's definitely very much needed. And so therefore, I'm glad that you guys are doing it. You're specializing specifically in one area, which is going to help a lot of people. Are you allowed to discuss what your price structure is? If you're not, that's fine. Or is there a website that they can go to get more information?
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely discuss price structure and what that looks like. We also do have a website, and it's just digitalassetsisters.com. And on there, I'll be actually adding our Linktree link to it so that you can actually get to some of our lower tiers and then our consistent monthly reoccurring memberships that we offer, and so that you can be a part of that group. But as far as the program itself, that's a one-time fee, and it is a $4,500 fee, but it is super comprehensive. We get you in and out, like you're gonna sleep like a baby, like Kaylin said. It's very simplified step by step.
Yeah.
So
you get everything set up in 6 weeks. So you get to follow exactly the steps that we've done through it. So we have a smaller tier before to get you going, to make sure you've developed an investor mindset. We touch on mindset all the time because it is so important. If you don't have the mindset, you won't be able to withstand the volatility like we're seeing today, where some of the assets are at. And you and me, all of us here are just sitting here having a good time, drinking our coffee, drinking our matcha, and we're fine because our investor mindset understands what's backing our assets. We understand where this market is going. So if you're just starting out, really we have a smaller tier that you can come in, you can learn, you can actually set your goals and start to see what you actually want in life. And then that'll help you understand how you want to invest. But if you're ready and you're like, I want to get invested right away, you can come into what's called our Crypto Start program. That's the one-time fee. You get lifetime access to it. And it's basically everything we've done to have our success. And you just get all of that foundation laid out. We have weekly calls on there. You can talk to us specifically. So we're very specific about and very on top of it with wanting to help our people. So we have a tight-knit community, and we do a lot of help with them as well. So we're not just, here's a program, go figure it out on your own. We're literally walking you through it step it by
You're
step.
hands-on. You're hands-on. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
We're not throwing you to the wolves.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
important.
price structure there. And then it's just why we do a one-time fee is because it's literally everything pretty much you need to know within the space. And you get access to our exclusive partners, our exclusive brokers and all that stuff. And then we have our advanced Invest 360 group, but that's more for people that are already invested, gone through the Crypto Start program. We touch on advanced topics there.
Yeah, this is more for the bigger client, obviously, not the guy that or gal that owns 500 XRP or 1,000 XRP. This is for guys or gals who are, the next couple of levels up. We understand that. Now, who was the first one out of you ladies that came up with the idea to start the program to begin with?
Now that's an interesting question. I don't think that we've gotten that one before.
Yeah. Well, we were doing this together. We were actually all doing it as a family. So our dad has been in real estate. He's been in investments his whole life. And so we grew up very entrepreneurial. We grew up managing our money, investing from a very young age and
always looking into new opportunities, honestly.
we're very heavy in research. So that's where when crypto came around, we were like, wow, this is interesting. So we started to dig into different things, of course, as everyone, first starts with Bitcoin. They first start saying, okay, what is this? And then you go deeper and you start to understand we're very heavy on global economics, as are you. Like, what is actually happening in the world? And what are the things behind the scenes that are happening that point to where you need to invest your money? Follow the money, follow the big guy, and you'll understand. And a lot of other things. But when we decided to start the business, actually, it wasn't us who decided to. It was the people around us. So people kept asking us for help, just like probably you and your wife, and we would help them. And then what happened is a very large business came to us and they asked us, can you guys help us get invested? But
We're willing to pay you. And the light went
we're
on.
willing to, yeah,
I love it.
you. And they've invested millions. So it's like, and they've done very, very well, like over 1,000%. So we were like, oh, okay, this could be a business. Like there's so much need. And then we realized we couldn't help everyone that was asking one-on-one. And so we realized we need to create a course for this. We need to put this in a stream. She said that because she's the organizational one.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, let's help everyone.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really someone else pretty much forced the idea on us. And then we're like, okay, we're ambitious. We can do this.
So we created that for the business specifically. And then we were like, why don't we just duplicate it, make it duplicatable, obviously, for other people. And it started with PDFs, and now it's a full-blown interactive course, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So super crazy how that all started.
And our community has been built as well. That's how our community started, because we started to realize like people got to the end of it and they were so excited and they were seeing great results. And they were like, well, what next? Like, how can I keep in touch with you guys? And we were like, okay, now we need to do the next thing. So then we started our Invest 360. We actually bring experts on the back end there.
So we would love to have you, by the way.
We would love to have you on there.
Yeah.
We've had Alan on there. Our dad actually runs it because we talk about more investments back there, real estate, how to combine your real estate and your crypto, right? Gold and silver. Like we've been investing in gold and silver for over 6 years ourselves as well. So of course, our dad for much longer. But yeah, that's how that back end started. Now we have an awesome community, both in the Crypto Start program, but in Invest 360 as well. So,
Well, your dad's probably very happy right now because you got $80 silver, which I believe silver is going to be the Bitcoin of the metals market. There's no question about it. I can't see unless they have some kind of manipulation game that we can't tell or how it's going to work. But if they don't, and the chickens are coming home to roost. They sold a lot of paper saying you own silver, but they oversold it by a factor of 20, 30, maybe 100 times more. Nobody really knows. And I know. I ran some of those centers that was selling the paper, and when I realized that there was no silver, it was just a scam, I resigned immediately, obviously. So I was on the inside, if you know what I mean. Let's talk about security. What measures are you going to teach your members about security and how to avoid all the scams? Listen, I've had hundreds of millions of dollars worth of XRP and Bitcoin stolen in my name. I got more clones than Kim Jong-un. No bullshit. And so what measures are you taking to make sure that your clients do not get ripped off?
This is one of the biggest topics in crypto that scares people and keeps people from investing and actually benefiting. And so I'll talk a little bit, but she's the expert on safety and security. So I'll let you go through the technical stuff. But really, what we say, it's as important to know what not to do as to know what to do. So if you know which asset to invest in, that's not enough. You have to know what not to do and you have to know what to do with that asset. So I'll let you go ahead and explain a little bit of that. But we've also helped people that have gotten their assets stolen, they've been scammed, they're on those meta groups and they're giving people their money to invest for them. We'll never take your money.
Do you have any impersonators yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Thankfully.
At least we don't know.
You will.
We've been a
You
pretty
will.
private community, which we kind of wanted to keep it that way, but
Yeah.
now we're like, okay.
And
we
just
need to
so
get our
that
name
for
out
the
there.
audience, just so for the audience, if you hear, hey, we are the digital asset sisters, and you need to register your XRP with the Quantum Financial System, and they have a website that looks all razzle and dazzle with fancy words, those are scam artists. You don't need to register anything. Okay. When you own XRP, you are already part of the Quantum Financial System. So take it away, please.
Exactly. That's exactly what Mel's saying right there.
It's so true. And unfortunately, I've dealt with a lot of people, not inside our community actually, but a lot of people that have come to us and they've said, hey, they heard from us from somebody. And they're like, I need to talk to you to see how I can get my money back. Millions invested into crypto and they're falling for what I would call silly scams. But if you don't know and you're not aware of what's going on, anything can be a silly scam, honestly. And so that is something that we really touch on. We touch on what is actually happening, not just last month, but today. What kind of scams are out there that are luring people in to get your money, to steal your money. So we teach on, like Kaylin said, what to do, but also what not to do and what to look out for to mitigate that risk.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not guaranteeing like absolutely everything is going to be perfect. Nobody can do that.
There's always user error. There's always user implication. And that's why the more you educate yourself, the better prepared you'll be. And really, that's why when we talk about preparation, we're talking about not using things in your own name, not using things with all of your other emails, right? Like those are just one example of something simple to do. But then we go as far as diversification within custody. A lot of people just have stuff in one spot, right? So we do a lot of different things, and then we can get even as far as, okay, now let's combine that strategy with your goals. And then let's see what steps do we need to take 10 years into the future? Because if these assets are truly going where we all know they're going, and they're really going to head there, you need to think 5-10 years into the future of, okay, how are you going to secure this and how can you sleep?
What's not just working now, there's going to be different things working. But I would say right now, just for a baseline, what we really do is walk people through the very beginning stages of investing. So it's like, whether it's on your computer or your phone, we're putting those safety and security measures behind. What do you want to do, and best practices for your phone and your laptop. We have somebody that we've brought on from the NSA, and even telling us like these are things that is used to work for the NSA, telling us, hey, this is what to look out for. This is the best practices. So, I mean, we go kind of in depth, and some people can feel a little overwhelmed with the safety and security side of things. But I would say once you're through that, it makes you feel like you are truly like secure. I'm telling you, it gives you confidence, and it's not just you're another one of those people with your seed phrase floating online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they
So-
would look, you can't get to everybody all at the same time. It's almost next to impossible because we're not gods. We're God wannabes, but we're not gods. So the reality is that if we could get to everybody and let them know that, hey, if somebody comes at you with these particular phrases, I always tell people, join my Telegram group and become an asshole. If you become an asshole and you ask a lot of questions, the chances you get in trouble is probably slim and none, right? Because our patriots will come to you and say, listen, don't do that. You're about to get hurt. And they'll say, you know what it's like to receive a call early in the morning and say, Mel, I know that you advertise your number for people who want to buy large numbers of XRP. I'm sorry for calling you, but were you the guy that I just deposited 400,000 XRP with?
Oh my.
I just registered my XRP with the Quantum Financial System, and your heart sinks.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
By the way, these ladies are going to be at the Quantum Summit, okay, Junior Quantum
Yes.
Summit in Cape Canaveral. So if you want to see them on stage and get to meet them in person, you could do that. And if you have a lot of assets that you would like to get some guidance, I would highly, highly recommend. This is a service that's very much needed. I wish I would have met them and partnered up with them instead of with Scott and Bradley early on, but I did it. But anyway, what is in the future of the crypto world that you see coming that no one else can sort of forecast? You ladies are very sharp. You come from entrepreneur family. You're well-to-do. Your father actually is in the real estate business. Most of my clients are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're all in the real estate. They own private jets and houses all over the world, in California, from Vegas, from Arizona, from North Carolina, you name it. So tell us what you see as the future of XRP and the ISO tokens. Where is it all going, and why is it so important for people to really focus on the ISO 20022 tokens?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Really quick, I was just wondering, are you getting feedback still
No, I'm not.
on the okay.
We're good now.
Then sure.
Yeah, that's the hot topic of,
It is.
okay, which cryptos, where are these actually going? And what we really see is you have to look at even what Ripple's doing. And if you really look, and for those of you that don't know what Ripple is, I'm sure you guys do since you follow Mel. But when you really look at Ripple, you start to see they're truly becoming a bank. They're soaking up a lot of different companies, and they're really being compliant before regulations even come into existence. So I think a lot of people are behind the ball, and they're saying, oh, well, what's going to happen with regulations? Well, Ripple is 10 steps ahead. And that means XRP is 10 steps ahead as well. I think there's a lot of plans with XRP and even some of the ISO cryptos as well that we don't fully understand yet. I always talk about this, but market cap is a big issue for a lot of people, but I don't think people understand what XRP is truly going to be used for. Yes, it's cross-border payments, but there are also many other things that it's going to be used for, especially with Ripple being essentially becoming a bank. So I think it's being positioned very, very wisely, I'll say. And then there's a lot of things happening globally as well that is obvious and evident that these are needing to be in place. I mean, we all just understood what happened at Davos with BlackRock, the CEO of BlackRock being there saying tokenization is a necessity. It's not just an idea anymore. We had Brad Garlinghouse there, right? You can start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But one unique thing, because I'm sure if they listen to you, they're going to know a lot of this stuff that the facts, right? But one unique thing that I think we bring to the table and that we really talk about within our community and our group is essentially what's called the parallel economy.
That's exactly what I was going to touch on.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on it a little?
No, I mean, you can keep sharing. That's what came to my mind as well.
Yeah, so we touch on what's called the parallel economy, and why this is super important is because what we believe is there's going to be a big separation between the wealthy and the poor. There's really not going to be as much of a middle class anymore, especially with where our financial system is going. And this is because
And where governments are pushing things.
where governments are pushing things. And so what's really happening is people that are positioning correctly, people that are securing their assets, people that are getting into the right asset classes, they're going to be able to ride the wave up into the top tier. The individuals that aren't, even if they have other assets, even if, let's say, they have cash or a 401k, a traditional 401k, unfortunately, they're going to be pushed down. And yes, there's some different things. I'm trying to just paint it simply here, but there's really going to be a larger gap, we believe, between the wealthy and the poor. And a lot of people are going to be dependent on centralized matters. So what we really talk about is the parallel economy. How can you position yourself to be the top? How can you position yourself to not rely on the centralized system, but rather rely on the parallel economy that we create as investors? Because, and I'm sure you've seen this, Mel, but there are so many different groups that are invested in XRP, invested in ISO, and we're like little hubs sitting around here. And I really do think as we advance and as some of these things play out, these hubs are going to kind of rise up and actually come together and realize, okay, we need to do something. We have some power. We have some governance here. And honestly, it's an interesting thing because XRP isn't the freedom coin, let's say, like Bitcoin is, but I think it actually has some really amazing communities and people backing it that will actually, just like we saw when we met at Alan's event a couple of weeks ago. So we really touch on the parallel economy. I can dive a little bit deeper in there, but you can, touch on it if you want to.
I think that's kind of the gist of it. And I would say it is kind of a unique topic that we touch on. I'm sure people have thought about where the world is going with crypto, and it kind of goes into like this whole one world government, one world economy, like the currency and everything. And it can freak people out. I mean, for us, like we have a group of kingdom-minded, faith-based people. And so I think that for one, they get a little concerned, like, where is this actually going? What am I invested in that regard? But I think on the other hand, I think we're strategically positioned in this spot to be able to kind of intercept what the government is going to try and control. And like, we're invested in a sector that 98% of people honestly aren't even talking about or wanting to invest in. They're freaked out and scared away from it. So how can we position ourselves to be able to support maybe some of those people that actually are going to be controlled by the government, taking UBI, and sitting on the couch watching the metaverse or something? I don't know. Not that we want to take care of those people, but it's like you got to think outside the box of where this is going long term.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you a question. I want to see if you girls are like me. When you're out and about and you're going out for breakfast or you're going to pump your gas and you meet daily people, are you like feeling compelled to say, hey, the financial system's car is about to crash. It's about to go over the cliff. You need to invest in XRP, and you try to explain to them what it is. And you walk away with like, that guy's going to definitely invest, or that gal's definitely not going to invest. Are you like me? Do you have the Mel Carmine disease?
We have the disease, but I think we kind of not got rid of it a little bit, but we realized that we were taking it too personally. Like,
yes.
These people need this, like, how can they not see? And trying
even
to
if they
rude,
buy $1,000 worth or $2,000 worth and just leave it alone and put their little hardware wallet in the underwear drawer and don't forget about it. Go back to waitressing, go back to doing whatever it is you do, and you wake up 5 years from now, it's here, right? Just like that alone, it's like, yeah.
I will say it's so right. And the people that probably have rejected us the most are actually people our age, maybe our friends, that we've really tried to explain, like, hey, you need to get into this. they're our closest people, but they're kind of like,
Who have a job. They have a regular job, right?
Yes. And so I'm like, it's at this point, we kind of just have to brush it off and be like, not I told you so when it all pops off, but just,
but I will say it's an awesome thing because when we meet that person at the grocery store, or we meet that person at just some random place at like a dinner or something, and they ask about us, because they start to ask, oh, what do you girls do? Because we're always together as sisters. It's an awesome opening. And we just say, oh yeah, we're both in crypto. We help people.
Nobody expects it.
Nobody expects it. So they call it a unfair advantage is really what people call it. And they say this is our unfair advantage, and disadvantage really, but we've seen it as an advantage. We're like, two young girls in crypto? What's going on here? So then when they start to understand and hear your story, we're like, okay, we can help these people. We can help them. And like you said, I mean, sometimes you run into someone that it is only has, $500 to invest, but then sometimes you run into people and we have dinners with people that are in very, very good business. And so when we're talking to them, it's like we even tell them, what's $1,000 to you? Really? Come on. What's 10K to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
this is going to blow you away. I knew about Bitcoin. I was following it before it was even for sale.
Wow.
I was following it before it went on the open market for sale at 0.0008 of a penny, 800 Bitcoins for $1. Hello.
So how did you start following that?
I listened to an idiot by the name of Alex Jones. So when it comes to digital assets, the last guy you want to listen to is Alex Jones, and he literally talked me out of it. He says, "It's a Ponzi scheme. Don't touch it." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not doing." And I didn't do it. And I would have.
No.
Listen, I've been to Las Vegas many times, and I've thrown $500 here and $1,000 there. I should have just not listened to him and just did it. I mean, can you imagine buying $500 at 0.0008 or $1,000?
Right.
Nuts,
Wow.
crazy. And I didn't do it, right? And I've spent more money than that on sushi dinners, right? Crazy. And we're about to meet in Miami for dinner in a couple of days, right? So,
Yes.
but the thing is, now I'm glad that she said that there's a cure for the Mel Carmine disease, and you have to be more subjective and selective on who you approach, okay, and listen to their conversations that they're having before if they're talking about Seinfeld and CNN News and Fox News, Anderson Pooper or whatever, probably not the guy you want to talk to about XRP, right? So, but
right.
yeah.
So right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but then if they're talking about The Simpsons, then you can maybe get in there and say, hey, look, you know who really created The Simpsons? Like,
Exactly.
they have insider knowledge. Go watch that episode with XRP going to, what was it? Some number.
Yeah.
So I know we got time. It's the 27th is going to be mingle and dingle, whatever. Everybody gets to know each other, have a couple martinis. We might even have a karaoke machine there and we'll do some karaoke and Mel Carmine can embarrass himself. Okay. But it's going to be on the beach. I think it's called Twisted Tides, which is right next door to the Sandbar in Cocoa Beach. So we expect a lot of people to come to that. And then the next day it's showtime. Have you figured out exactly what it is you're going to be talking about on stage yet? I know you got time, but sort of just to give the audience a glimpse of what they can expect.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've discussed it a little bit. And, speaking at different events, there's always a different atmosphere, right? And so what we really love about you is that you're just so open. You're so open about what you research about these different things that are actually going on in the world. And it's not an easy topic to really just talk to anyone about.
Oh, yeah.
And we love that stuff. So we're actually going to kind of go down that route a little bit more than we usually do than just talking about, let's say, the basics. We will touch on some of the basics of what we do just structurally, but I think the parallel economy is something huge that we've kind of coined and we talk about a lot with our Invest 360 individuals. And this is what is making our people so confident. And to leave you kind of like on a cliffhanger of what we're going to be talking about, really one question you want to be asking yourself is truly, why are you invested in crypto? And not just what's everything that's happening in the world, but what is your purpose? What is individually, Like sit back, take a step back, breathe in and say, why am I doing this? Okay, to get wealthy, to make a lot of money. Well, what are you going to do with that money? Because money is energy. So what are you going to actually do with that capital? And if you don't have a purpose that's backing your life, it's not going to be strong enough to back what this crypto is going to do in your life. So that's what we're going to be kind of talking about and how we really combine that to essentially make your crypto portfolio just accelerate you into your purpose and into your positioning of where you really want to be in life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, if there's one thing I envy about you ladies is the fact that you're so damn young. I'm so damn old. You know, it's like, oh my God, these ladies are so smart and they know about XRP. They're gonna be like billionaires by the time they're like 26, right? How old are you ladies? You ladies gotta be like 22.
We're trying to tell our girlfriends, but you know,
That's so funny.
we are very blessed.
Yeah.
And we talk about it all the time because, you know, sometimes you get that little symptom of saying, oh, like I'm not far enough ahead. Oh, I want to invest more. And oh, you know, like you continue to invest, but it's just those things you get. You wake up one day and you're like, oh, am I really where I want to be? And then God kind of just taps us on the shoulder and is like, excuse me. Like, do you not see what position I've put you girls in?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Invested in one of the best asset classes, let alone that in gold and silver. We're positioned for some real estate as well, but it's like it's pretty awesome, and we feel very blessed.
That's awesome
to be in this so young.
You are no idea how lucky you are. Seriously. No idea.
And just to touch on that,
you too. You're still young.
Yeah, you're still
63,
very young.
63 is knocking on the door. It's not young. Trust me.
63?
63.
You're 63.
I'm 62 now. I'm going to be 63 September. Yeah.
Well, you don't look it. So,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
Shake
need
it
to
off.
come and go sit in that med bed a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing. You know, it's funny. We were going to have this thing at an airplane hangar. I was going to go follow the footsteps of Alan. I love that whole entire concept. And God says, no. He's slowed down the ticket sales so much so that we're going to fill up the center with about 200 chairs. But he wants everybody in the center because he is behind us. He wants us to put the medical industry out of. You're going to be flabbergasted because you're going to see people there that have knee pains, back pains, shoulder pains, chronic for years. And they're going to tell you, and you're not even the owner of the place, okay? Nobody's the owner. The owner's God, right? We gave everything to God. Everything's owned by ministry. But anyway, needless to say, they're going to tell you, hey, I had this pain. It's gone. I had this thing, lower back pain for 14 years or 17 years. It's gone. You know what I mean? So you're going to be able to marinate. But now here's the beautiful thing, because we're all made out of what? 75% water, and our bodies act like antenna. So because there's so many water antennas inside that room, the energy is going to be like, 20x that normally like when it's emptier, right?
Yeah. That is something that's so awesome that you even brought that up, because we've been talking about our energy and just being very cautious with our words and making sure that the energy that we are putting out is what we want to attract, because it is so true, and it will.
And who we surround ourselves with. So
it's your body, and we listened to a thing on, this is kind of going down a different rabbit hole, but within your fascia and how that it is literally water. But if you can break it up and it is the energy within you, I mean, it's incredible. And I see that with what you and your wife
I sleep in the system.
Like,
I sleep in the system. I cheat a little bit. That's
Yeah,
why I look
you are
as good as I
cheating.
do.
Yeah, seriously. I need to, if I can just stay this young.
Hey, when you
I'll
walk through
get
the
one of those
door,
methods.
when you walk through the door, I'm going to give you ladies a challenge. When you walk through the door, it's staying alive on the left-hand side, immediately on the wall. Look on the left-hand side. It's pinned right onto the wall. There's a laminated 2 pieces of paper. This is a friend of mine, Julie, who took her blood. She slept in the system for an entire month from like 6 o'clock. I let her come an extra couple hours early. If you're my friend, I'll let you do that. Okay. You come extra couple hours early. You can stay extra couple late. And anyway, she stayed in the system for an entire month. She sent her blood work to a independent lab in Houston. Right. You ladies are familiar with telomeres, right? You know what telomeres are?
Yes.
Okay. Your telomeres are your body clock. So when they get shorter and they disappear, you're dead. You die when they're no longer there. And if your telomeres are going the other way, what do you think is happening?
You're getting younger.
and you will not even
23%. 23%. Her telomeres grew by 23%. And we have it documented, and you could call the lab yourself. You could do your own test. It's there for people to consume. 23% increase.
See, I love that. I think this is so important too, especially within these communities, is people really want, I understand like people in the XRP community, they want a good life. Like they want to not just get wealthy, they want to get healthy. They want to stay healthy. And it's pretty awesome that people are tapping into these things that you're tapping into, because this is exactly what we do. And no longer is it weird to be, rolling your fascia out and doing some of these different things and speaking over yourself. Like we even talked to our community about this, but speaking over yourself, like why do you think there's studies with these plants of one dies when you're speaking all these negative things over it, and one is flourishing when you're speaking positive things over it? And you're exactly the same way. And so it's like we talk about even speaking over yourself. We do it every single morning, every single night. We speak over our investments. Our community does it as
you
well.
speak it into existence as if it's already happened.
Exactly.
That's what I do. See, it's like when I want to live long enough to run out of XRP, and I'll be like 1,800 years old, and I'll call you girls, say, can I borrow some money? I'm all out of XRP, but I'm sure money won't be like then. But when I die, I don't want to die like everybody else, put in a box. It's so spooky, that whole entire thing. I want to be buried in a glass encased thing. I want to be sitting in my chair with a big cigar with an Armani suit, and I want to buy an island, and I'll be a dive site, where people can come visit me, and they get a t-shirt that says, I went to go see Mel,
That's hilarious. I love it.
So
I'll lend you some money when in 1,500 years if I get your med bed as collateral.
Let me tell you something. It's coming. All the technology that Trump wants to throw at us, it's scary. Not to get off track. Don't forget, if you need help with your digital assets, you know who to call. But Donald Trump is getting ready to throw everything at us. I'm coming. By the way, we're coming out with the movie. You'll be able to see it about the straw man. I'm sure you're familiar with the straw man.
Yeah, we've heard you.
You're all worth $200-300 million and beyond. Okay, I'm coming out with a movie. We found the most elementary, third grade level, fourth grade level pieces on the internet and glued them together in a way to tell a story that is so impactful. I think I'm going to piss off 8 billion people on planet Earth. So we're going to open up the show on the 28th with 2 shows. It's going to be either a panel or one person and a panel. And then we're going to break for lunch, and we're going to come back to the movie on the 28th. And then we're going to talk about the religious irrevocable trust, so that you can give everything to God. You can own nothing, right? But yet you control everything.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah. We're a better definition of a steward right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we do that. That's one of the businesses that I'm partners with, Cobus, and that's what we want. We want everybody to get off the grid for one lousy fee, one time only. Boom, you're done. The beautiful thing about our trust is that we actually change the language. We go to the bank, we negotiate with the bank. The bank's already broken in. So if you come in Florida, we're gonna take you to the bank that's already broken in. Then you're gonna argue with us. The language is what it is. It's our language, which means that you, as the trustee, own the deposits. Which means if there's a bank holiday, there might be a bank holiday for everybody else but you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Right.
Well, we were going to have to talk to you a little bit more about that, because we're helping our people set up LLCs, trusts, doing some of this other stuff we just learned. And that's one thing, we should get with.
Hello? Well, I don't know what happened, but I think it was the internet down in Miami. We're waiting for Web3 to come, because this thing is antiquated. So Elon Musk, let's go, baby. Right?
Yeah, Starling, come on. And in Miami, of all places, it's like we're pretty advanced here, but
yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, I look forward to seeing you ladies. We were getting down to the end of the show anyway. I know you're going to bring probably a lot of your fan club with you. Spread this video to your fan base, because they're definitely going to listen. If there's anything that I could give you, I have a few years on both of you. I think I'm probably older than both of you combined. Okay. The reality is that if that can give you anything of advice that is really valuable, there's nothing better than to attending these workshops and meeting your fan club face to face and cross-pollinating. Everybody's so afraid of cross-pollinating because they think the 8 billion people belong to them. Don't fall into that nonsense. Cross-pollinating is great. That's how the birds and the bees, and that's how our food supply grows, and that's what makes everything flourish, okay? So those are the two things that I will give you that are absolute priceless.
Well, thank you for that advice. We love that because we love bringing our community to these different places. And I really love that about the XRP space as well, is people want to get together. People want to know different people in this space, and it's not uber competitive like a lot of other areas. So everyone offers something different and unique. And everyone, I say there's a huge XRP community, but then you find your tribe within it. So all that's fine. All that's good. That's good.
Absolutely. Well, guys, don't forget 786-704-8817. If you need to buy gold or silver, carminesgold.com. If you need to buy a large amount of XRP, nothing less than $10,000, text me. The number is not for socializing. It's strictly for business, okay? 786-704-8817. Also, if you happen to be down in Cape Canaveral, come and visit us at Staying Alive, alive with 2 E's at the end. The other one belongs to the Bee Gees, okay? 166 Center Street, and come charge up the body. The body wants to charge. We're electric beings. We want to be optimized. The cells want to be optimized. And that's what happens when you're in the system. Your cells go from, 30 millivolts to 90 millivolts, and you'll see a huge, huge difference. My mom is a testament. She's the most impressive testimonial. If you go to stayingalive.com and you go to the testimonials, you'll be flabbergasted. Thank you. Again, how do we find you?
Yeah, well, thank you, Mel. You guys can find us on YouTube at Digital Asset Sisters, and then you can also find us on Instagram. That's going to be my name, so Kaylin with an A, and then my last name C-O-E. So you guys can find us there.
Also, our website is just digitalasset-sisters.com.
Yeah,
easy.
Digital Asset Sisters. That's who we are. So thanks for having us on, Mel.
Yeah, and I'll have my editors put your information down below, so it'll be there through the duration of the entire video. So great. Thank you for coming, ladies. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna hold you back. Hold you back.
Yes.